This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing a variation of the Mothership role-playing game called Cloud Empress. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is The Star Seedling. It was written by Victor Graur, who is also our warden. Cloud Empress is the creation of World by Watts. Mothership was created by Sean McCoy, and this is episode 6. Our recap will be given by Steve Anderson as his character, Sven the Courier. But before we begin, we have a new patron. Justin Bumgardner has pledged to contribute $4.50 a month to our club. I should mention that he is going to be running an upcoming Thursday night game for us. Thank you so much, Justin. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Steve?
Oh, it's been a crazy few hours. It started with catching on fire, and it ended with a lovely night of sleep. It was the in-between that was really nuts. Yeah, okay, the fire. It was toasty. I was lucky, I'll admit it. I pushed my luck and the giant robot thing made me pay. The fire was strange, though. It burnt only our flesh, not our clothing or anything else. And then, in an instant, it went out, leaving us feeling tingly where it had burned. The screens in that place had all turned on by themselves while we were dealing with that fire. And rather than fiddle with them and maybe having learned our lesson, we left the robot and went to explore the plants. And those were some amazing plants. One was called an aspen, and Rose said it could grow into a forest, yet still be a single organism. We talked about how those plants could change our world, but then Olo reminded us to get back on task. These spores will kill us if we don't solve this puzzle. My greatest fear is that even if we do solve this puzzle for House Stellar, they won't let us live. But you know, life is just one step in front of another, so we continue on. These plants, they're weird. They're all sealed in something like glass, and the environment within is controlled. We can open them, but doing so would probably kill them or kill us, as we found out later. Splitting up, we decided to explore, looking for the flower we needed. Olo heard something that made him suspicious, and while trying to set an ambush, he accidentally knocked over one of the glass jars, which started a chain reaction of plants falling. One of the plants near Olo grew really quickly, threatening him. He yelled and escaped, letting us know there was a problem. One shot rushed to him to help him, while the rest of us tried to stop the collapsing shelves. Once we stopped the collapse, we took a moment to survey the damage. And behind us came the sound of clapping. It was Jacques. For some unknown reason, he was wearing an expensive tuxedo. He threatened us and suggested we leave. He and Rose faced off with sabers. Sun pulled out his sword as well. Me? I pulled out my cannon and suggested they put their swords away. Good thing nobody knew I didn't have any chalk to charge the thing with. We pressed Jacques for information. He admitted that he was a mercenary and that he killed the previous people sent here, not the spores, but he wouldn't tell us who hired him. Sun lost his temper and rushed at Jacques, but Jacques just stepped aside, sending Sun into a plant. The plant was an orchid and it began to grow rapidly, emitting an alcoholic smell. But then the explosion started. Jacques was distracting us while his accomplice got in place. God, I hate those guys. I hated those guys. Sun and Rose chased Jacques. I threw a plant at the accomplice. Suddenly, I saw a knife bopping through the air. It was one shot. I guess he decided being visible was cool, and so he joined the fun. One shot corralled the second bad guy and ripped off his mask, and he saw his mother's face. Mask guy took off while one shot was reacting, but together we tracked him down. One shot's a good hunter. I can't deny it. We heard some metal clanking and banging, clearly the robot thing, but we had a job to do. Once we cornered the accomplice, he offered us the flower we were looking for in exchange for letting him go. Of course, we made the exchange. After that, One Shot and I found the others. Turns out that Rose and Sun cornered Jacques in a room. Olo had already dispatched his enemy and joined them. This room had more sinister specimens under the jars, including things that looked more like meat than plant. The room was split into two sides with a vast deepness between them, an abyss. They nailed this guy down, and we pressured Jacques to tell us his employer. Of course, it was Thorn. None of us were really surprised. But what did surprise us was when we realized Thorn had been watching us with the crest with the open eye. Rose tried to turn the crest around to watch Thorn. We don't know what happened, but suddenly Rose floated into the air and then was smashed onto the floor. Rose started screaming and went into spasms. I later found out that Rose saw Thorn looking at us. We were just dots on a map. One Shot wisely threw the crest in the abyss. Sun took out his anguish on Jacques, killing him, stabbing him again and again. It was all too much for me. This is exactly why I never travel with anyone. It's one thing when I'm hurt, another when it's someone else. We grabbed both Rose's unresponsive body and Jacques' dead body. Sun used the other crest, the one with the closed eye. But then he just fell asleep, and we all joined him. There was like a soothing voice, pure with no ulterior motives, and it put us to sleep. When we awoke, Rose was barely breathing.
All right. Thank you very much, Steve. You all wake up in the darkness of the cave, and things have changed a little bit, but there are many things that are going to happen simultaneously. For a first, there is a low vibration that is happening all around you. You check yourselves and you find that you are still in the possession of the compass. You are in the possession of pretty much everything, even the Star Seedling. And I'm going to go a little bit towards Rose. You struggle to breathe. You have these occasional chest burns. And the world surrounding you starts to slow down. Of course, the rest of you will not sense this slowing down, and everything comes to a stop. No more vibrations, no more breathing, no more movement, as all your companions' looks are staring at you, but it's almost like they're stopped in time. And you feel very light, and you get up just to notice two things. For a starter, you are looking down towards your own body. You also feel much more lighter. And looking around, you see light, dim light, coming from a small candle, illuminating a figure that seems to be of indecipherable age. having two rotund glasses, two shades, just standing there and watching you with a smile that you interpret is of either pity or compassion. And he just stays there, the figure, watching you.
Who are you? What is this?
Oh, you are awake. Well, you see, death is never easy. But I sense that you have many questions, and it points towards you, and you see above your head, there is a big 2 scratched above your head. Who I am is not really that important. Think of me more of an observer, of a storyteller. Your story is almost to an end, but you still have things to do back in the land of the living. Be careful, though, and it removes the shades, revealing some kind eyes. Once that turns to 3, once you meet a terrible fate the 3rd time, I will have to keep the balance and deal you a card. For now, you shall return to your friends, but you may ask me a question, whichever you want, and I am obliged to answer you truthfully and honestly as an aid in your pursuit. I am also going to ignore, and it smiles, the fact that you asked me my name. I don't believe that is going to be of any help to your endeavor.
Well, that's very kind of you. How can I destroy House Stellar?
Ooh. House Stellar is only on the physical plane. They are just mortals fighting with other mortals for an illusion of immortality, while their ephemeral presence is made only by their heirs to the throne. In fact, one of their heirs is trying to stop you from helping the true next of kin to obtain something that they want. You might use that to your advantage, should you know exactly how. And with that answer, it gently goes towards you and it lifts you up without hurting you in any way, like cradling you like a baby. And it puts you down, it lowers you back into your body. And the figure disappears. The time reaccelerates. And everyone else, you see Rose take a big gulp of air as they seem to return to life.
Oh, thank God. She's still alive. They're still alive. We have to get medical attention.
Were you expecting that, Olo? Is that why you wanted us to drag the bodies around? Do you think this guy's gonna come back to life too?
I wanted to drag the bodies around.
Jacques? Didn't you want Jacques?
I just wanted to look through his stuff.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were carrying him around.
Oh,
I mean, we can
Never
if we
mind.
want.
No, sorry, my mistake.
I think a
Sven
knife to the
pushes a
throat's
body
going to
off
keep
behind.
Jock from coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Sun saw to that very well. But yes, it's good you're still with us, Rose.
where's Sun?
It was a bit much for Sun. Sun's departed. Not dead, just literally gone.
I feel very close to the other side.
Shall we use magic to get back to the inn? It's the fastest way.
Yeah, we had considered attempting that one crest, but seeing how bad Rose is hurt, maybe it's not worth the risk. It would
I remember, yeah.
potentially give us the element of surprise, but it's such a gamble. We don't know. We just don't know.
Well, I threw that open eye over the cliff. That cliff is gone. Yeah, I think we need to risk it just for the sake of Rose. All right, let me find something. Well, we're still inside?
Yeah.
And they're shaking
so.
and
There is a low vibration all across the cave system, and I'm going to say that there is no mystery in its origins. You hear some metallic croaking, and there seems to be movement far across where the giant sits.
the guardian
It's almost
is,
like it's trying to get loosen up.
yeah.
Oh, we woke it up.
Well, I'll walk to the nearest wall and I will pull out a piece of chalk and I will draw a doorway, more or less the same size as the one on the end.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd
Right.
be like, okay, I don't know how well this is going. I hope it'll take all of us, but let's all sort of interlock arms and we'll put Rose in the middle so that we can hold her up. And then
Just to ask the question, I like this idea. How close is this giant to population areas? I'm a little
it
worried
took us
we
a
woke
couple
up
of hours to get
the
out
Iron
here.
Giant and it's gonna roam around crushing stuff.
Well, that's a good question and a
It
kind one.
took us a couple hours to get out here.
Yeah.
What are we
fair.
supposed to do with it, though?
Yeah.
I mean, if we want to, how are we going to stop it?
We need to
We
raise an
tried.
army to fight it.
I've got the burns.
We had the control center was there with all the wires and stuff. I haven't like flown a thopter, but I know if you start cutting wires, eventually it shuts down, right?
I would have thought that it would have been completely
Yeah,
deteriorated and damaged.
well, especially without the pilot. But there must be some secondary intelligence to this thing.
Well, the only option, only other possible option is some of us take Rose and some of us stay and try to stop the robot. I'd say we all go back and get a bunch of people with
Yeah, that makes
weapons
sense.
to stop the
Yeah.
robot.
Have a part one, part two. Take out what's her face. Take out Thorn, then pop back. Take out a giant robot.
Have I lost my sound?
Uh-oh.
Can you
I
hear
hear
us?
Can't hear anything.
Oh,
Oh, no.
no. This is just going to be like the Iron Giant. It's fine.
Yeah. That is my only concern. Otherwise, yeah, absolutely. Let's just go to town and be the hell out of here. But
Theory crafting time.
yeah,
Not there yet. It'd be easier to take him out from the bottom as opposed to the top.
there is that. I mean,
His
could
Achilles
run in and
heel
start
is going to
hacking
be
stuff.
on his
Yeah.
heel, right?
Exactly. You just open up a thing and a bunch of gore comes out and you're done.
There is also a detail, and to be honest, yeah, it's almost like begging for that as a solution. But you are free to do whatever you want, because with that information, you're free to do whatever you want with that information, since you already kind of know. The giant's eyes are filled to the brim with chalk machinery. The chalk machinery is not exposed
Yet.
Should it be exposed in any kind of way, even remotely, there are some very, very much well more prepared entities in this universe that can do something to it.
Go after it. Yeah.
Well, we
We
know the
expose the
eyeballs.
well, we
Yeah,
expose the chalk, the imago
yeah.
will come.
Uh, do we think we could just get into the head and because Sven, you said the eyeballs, I think, had chalk in them, right?
That's right. There's definitely chalk in the eyes.
I don't disagree, Amethistos. Like maybe we just get out of here. I don't want to stay long here and fight this thing unless we have to.
Well, we certainly don't want it to rampage the countryside.
Yes, think of how many it will kill if we don't stop it now.
Now, if
Plus a
Jacques
little
was
bit
out
of
there,
chalk.
if Jacques still survived, I'd say just let it rampage for a while. But I feel like we are slightly endangering people. But yeah, maybe how long would it take to run up to the head there, Victor? Like we're in the
Mm,
same facility.
yeah, no, it would be relatively fast. The only problem would be to exit it back again. Um, Either Amatistos can try to draw the portal from within the giant, which is a complete possibility,
You just need a
or
flat surface.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Or you might find another way. Um, it's up to you. To be fair, another small pointer. The giant is alien by any stretch of the imagination technologically wise, but you have seen it is anatomically correct. So its head obviously has a jaw and a mouth, which could make for some risky escape should you not be able to escape it through a portal. Or you can definitely try to exit it back through the missing arm or through
Yeah.
its shoulder.
If it's not loose yet, I mean, I'm very willing to just run in there if you guys want to just start the chalk thing and, you know, get to the village. If it's only a few hours, it's maybe it makes more sense.
Well, there's no reason if Rose is starting to get some color back in her face. So if, you know, she's not bleeding to death, I mean, we can risk a few more minutes so that you can try to stop the robot. I don't think Rose can climb up into the machine.
I'll be okay, I think.
Does Rose look like she'll be okay?
Rose looks like they have two wounds
Yeah.
out of three.
Yeah, Olo just put a hand on the shoulder. I don't want to risk like we need your experience, especially with Sungon. We can't risk not getting the plant out of here. Because even if we can't get the cure, if you can get it to the village and get them to plant it, that will, if they keep it out of the eye of the house, that's a cure that all these people need.
Right. Did we find the right plant?
I think Sven has it,
Yes,
right?
I have the right plant. At least I think
Okay,
I
then
have the right
maybe
plant.
okay. So if some of us go through this portal that Amethystos opens, the others can try to stop the robot.
And then if you survive, you can try to catch up to us.
Yeah. It's a few, what, hours to the village?
2 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing one shot you have to do it,
Yep.
meaning
And
you
Rose
take
has to come.
Rose. So it'd be me and Olo. I'm not a huge fan of climbing around in this robot. And I'm not feeling great myself, but
I I'm uninjured compared to the others. Like I'm literally have not been hurt very much. I really would feel bad if you died. I'm old. I've had time. Like I'm not too worried that I can do this.
All right.
Allow a old man his moment of heroism.
You want to wait and
Then I get
watch?
stomped immediately. uh, Up to you. Uh, if I can make it out quickly, I'll check here first.
Let's
Nah,
wait and watch and see if he can get out for it.
So as you all are, some of you are waiting and drawing, Amatistos, I'm not going to ask for a check or anything, because it's a gateway. You already placed one. You place the gateway and you start the preparations, which should take very little time-wise. Who goes with Olo? Or Olo, are you going alone?
I'm not gonna let Olo go alone. I'll go with
Okay.
Olo.
Yeah. Um, you
Nice, then.
enter you enter the giant. The Not much has changed other than more and more terminals spitting the torture script gibberish. Um, you start to go towards the head section, and you are welcomed by the familiar sight of the runic core, the flesh metal tongue, and there is there are two connections to the eyes. Um, you can either try to understand and decouple them, or you can try to strike them furiously to see a conclusion to this. What I'm getting at is, do you want to do this by mechanically intervening, or do you want to do this by good old fighting engineering, cutting the cables?
I have drills and hammers for chalk collecting. I don't know.
I mean,
I would
Maybe
say
maybe
that
some chisels.
um, you can attempt, but you know that this is very corrosive. Should you fail, you will lose your tools, or at least the majority of them.
I
If
think
you
we're
want to
just
attempt such a maneuver, you can give me a mind or a strength, whatever is higher, with advantage since you have the tools and everything.
Okay. Do
yeah,
you have any
if it's
better
all
idea?
right. No, I think that's a great idea. Sven will go eyeball the other eyeball, and do the same, but he doesn't have any tools. He's just kind of eyeing up. He heard them say there's chalk in here, so he's gonna take a gander with his brain.
Okay, yeah, sure.
No.
Thank God for the advantage. I got a 28 and my mind is 33.
Perfect. Um, and although you attempted and you failed.
Correct. I'm not seeing a
Um,
way in, that's for sure.
yeah. Well, definitely you see Sven attempting and decoupling this in a quite a controlled manner. It even saves some of the tools, like you still are in possession in most of them. Probably one chisel got a little bit corroded. Although you are going to take 1d10 damage.
Ooh,
Do you want me to
right.
roll, or you can roll your
Uh,
damage if you want?
Got my chaos and give me a wound.
Oh, um, well, roll me a 1d10 for the wound effect, but I have
All
already an
right.
explanation of what will happen.
Two on the wound.
2. Okay. Well, you are knocked back by this and are a little bit stunned when you see that um, the flesh, the skin, flesh, and bones just at the tips of your hand just vanish completely. You are so shocked that this is not going to this is going to give you definitely now let's make it fair. It's quite frightening. 2 stress. And that's what essentially happens, is your hand just immediately got corroded by this compound of chalk and torture machinery. It's frightening. To move fast forward, your efforts, both of your efforts, you start to see chalk start very rapidly to fall like a fine salt. And you see a crack slowly start to extend through the eyes, through one of the eyes, and the other is intact. This took you 5 minutes. Everything happens very fast. You can definitely start bolting back towards the group as you hear buzzing, strident buzzing in the distance.
I gotta get some before we leave.
I
I
mean,
gotta get some chalk.
I understand you better now than ever before, Sven. And if you need to hurry, I'll basically be wrapping my hand with like a torn off bit of the cloak.
yeah.
But it's fine. No, just make sure you leave some for the Imago. But let's get going.
Definitely not even a check. There are plenty towards the middle and the end. You can definitely, if you want to have time, you can probably harvest. Give me a 1d5 to see how many chalk sticks would you get out of this hole.
Grab the bucket.
3 chalk sticks, equivalent of chalk, you manage to collect, until the buzzing becomes unbearable, and you think it's a matter of minutes until the Imago are going to start to strike this thing quite hard.
Minutes, that's plenty of time.
Yeah, that's above ground. Yeah, let's down.
But I'll go anyway.
We're not going anywhere. Roll me another 1d5 for the chalk stick.
No. I'm actually trying to help Olo get down now.
Okay. You regroup. Each one of the other ones, you see Olo nursing their hand, which is bandaged. And you see a very, very happy yet equally terrified Sven with a pouch full of chalk. You are near the portal frame and you are ready to enter.
Oh, can't hear him.
You are muted, Thom.
Yeah. Everybody wrap your arms around me. And I will touch the frame, which should suck us through to the other side.
A tunnel of blue, white, and purple later, and you open your eyes, you just blink, and you are back in the village.
Bang! One shot, it worked! Woohoo!
Yeah. Now we'll see if we've got another problem because of the side effect. Hopefully the side effect only affects me.
Roll me. That's a good call. Roll me the heart check because it's a spell. So should you fail, a miscast happens, but I'm going to say it only affects you since you give something to the spell for others to pass.
Yeah. So I failed 62 out of 32.
Okay. A 1d10.
4.
4. Okay, this is interesting. Okay. You will get 1 stress. And there is something weird as you are teleported back, and you're not exactly sure, but you swear that you heard footsteps running away from all of you. And you look and you don't see anyone exactly there. There is also an amount of rocks from the cavernous inside that seems to have brought with you. And there is also some of that orange fluid from the giant that is almost like somebody took and cut a piece out of it if it was solid and brought back. You believe the potency of your spell was accidentally doubled and you teleported much more than you anticipated.
Than I anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
assume
you are
also
back in the
that
village.
I assume also that the normal side effect to where I can't walk through a doorway,
Oh yeah.
which will
I
last
will
for
let you role play that, but looking at any kind of passageway fills you with dread and with superstitious aversion.
Yeah. So we got to get Rose to the apothecary or the doctor or whatever. Let's go. Sven too. Get him patched up. Oh my God, Olo, your hand.
Yeah, it's merely a flesh and bone and sinew wound.
Good thing that's not your sword hand.
Truly.
I'll commission them to manufacture a gold one for you out of gold.
You
Wow.
sounds wonderful.
I got some chalk, so if we can find a dock, hopefully can fix up Rose and Olo. I mean, I'm hurting, but they're in bad shape.
For one stick of chalk, they would be like, do you want to put them in intensive care, like send them on a vacation or something?
Besides, your chalk is raw. I've got chalk. I can give them. We can work on making your chalk into sticks.
That's right. That's right. We can trade.
Yes, definitely.
I guess for two individuals, yeah. You pay a local doctor one stick of chalk. It's almost priceless considering that they don't really have too much to do. They essentially disinfect and cauterize Olo's wound, and they take care of Rose, give them some refreshment medicine, like actually try to kickstart the immune system and help bring even more color to their cheeks. They do absolutely the best they can, which means that if you have less HP than an entire wound, you heal that completely. But they cannot really get rid of the wounds. But you are in much better shape, and you get you get rid of any kind of debuffs or anything. But they are honest and they don't trick you. One chalk stick, they even tell you Amatistos would be enough to basically, if they would have the technology to rebuild these people from the ground up. It's high pay, essentially, but they will accept it, giving it to them. While you are in the village and you leave temporarily Rose and Olo to be attended to, you observe two things. Oh, and I forgot. You also have with you the dead carcass of Jap, which was brought with the spell as well. They are dead. They are very much dead. And you observe two things. One, you observe a plaque, like a bulletin board in the village. And they have posters. And taking a close look at these posters, they depict many individuals, but there are three big ones that are marked dead or alive. And you start to put some names to some unsavory familiar faces. You see Jacques the Jester being charged with petty crimes, battery, and you don't see listed murder, but he pretty much confessed to that. You see another poster with the gas mask fella, which essentially you find out that it's about an individual called Flame, the pyromancer. And a face with dark pits as eyes, masked. Nadine the Infiltrator. The Rocketeers are called, and this village, the constabulary of this village, essentially wants them dead or alive and pay handsomely for capturing or actually getting rid of these individuals. And next to this bulletin board, you see a person that is watching you curiously, and they approach you, confessing that they are impressed that you actually managed to get one of them. You are more impressed of the fact that this person recognizes poor Jack because they are disfigured completely. But they are almost certain that they see Jack the Jester killed and brought to justice. I will let the fellow player introduce their character.
It's old man wearing untanned leather, carrying something on his back, connected to a tube, approaches you and looks down at the bodies and says, "Well, damn. I was very much
friend of
hoping."
yours?
No, not a friend of mine. I was very much hoping to be the guy that brought him in. I am very impressed you all got three of them. That's impressive. These are some very annoying fellows. I'm glad they're dead.
So are we. I don't know if they have a larger gang. Perhaps you do. But I think this is all that attacked us.
Yeah, well, if there's more of them, they're going to be very surprised.
My name is Amethystos Belaroth. That's Olo. And we have two other friends who are currently getting medical attention. And you are?
My name is Silt the Weary. I'm sellsword by trade. I typically hunt down fools such as these
Oh,
for
well, you should
money.
get along with Olo then.
Very nice to meet you all.
Reaches as the switch
Yeah.
hands.
Ah, shit. The hell happened to you?
Burned it off, but for a good cause.
Ah,
And I'm not the worst out of the group, so I can't complain. Good to meet a fellow bounty hunter, though.
Yeah.
yeah.
We just had quite a little adventure. We are going to rest here for the night.
Yeah.
You
Well,
seem
I'd
nice enough. Well, you're welcome to join us.
be happy to. Be happy to. I'll help you drag these fools to the constabulary. I'm very happy to see these guys gone.
Do you have a bucket by any chance? It might be necessary.
I can procure one. Just a moment.
One Jacques Slurpee later, you will receive um, a good meal on behalf of the village for your efforts. Silt is actually a well-known sellsword around the place, so they are going to pretty much help you talk with the let's say, a mayor-like figure, but they don't seem to be really keen on imposing their authority. They are well liked by the people around. You all discuss, chat, you eat a hearty meal. You all can decrease 2 stress. Or no, 4 stress. And obviously you can upgrade your attributes by that amount, whatever ones you like. Obviously you discuss freely, and you can definitely role play that, but you probably would mention about House Stellar in passing.
Yeah.
And Silt, you have somewhat of a reputation. You never liked them. You always thought that there is something that is amiss. And these strangers coming here is like people confirming that aliens are real. Like, you are finally vindicated. These people that almost everyone is regarding as, oh, they brought goods. They brought money when money were a thing here. They invested into this village. They are shady. These people are confirming to you that they are shady, and they even have a bone to pick with them, which definitely piques your interest even further. But yeah, you are free to discuss.
Seems that you all have gotten yourselves into quite the pickle.
Yeah. Conscripted and probably highly misled by family Stellar.
Yeah, they are not the best
Been
people.
We have a serious bone to pick with them right now.
It's been a very difficult last couple of days.
I can only imagine. I'm very sorry that you all had to go through all that.
Yes,
And
are
I'd be
you
happy to help you all in your bone picking.
How much?
Well, I
We need another body. I mean, yes, we could use the help.
yeah, I slap the tanks that are sitting next to me and say, I've got the ability to shine some light on situations.
I see.
Hmm.
Well, your fingers look a little naked. I'm going to give him one of my rings. Whatever your price, that should cover it.
I'm like, holy shit. Are you sure you want to give this to me?
Well, you're a sellsword. You need to get paid.
All right, I'll okay, but this is way more than I normally.
Well, I could cut it in half, but
Oh no,
then it wouldn't
no,
work
no,
as a
no,
ring.
no, no, don't do that. Don't do that. This is a very precious thing as I quickly put this in my pocket.
So then that brings us to the question. So you've maybe been here longer. How are we going to dispatch of Thorn? I mean,
Especially since
But,
Thorn's going to probably get a hold of that sword that you.
that sword hasn't been used yet, so we'll see. But I would agree. I think element of surprise is not on our side. Yeah. What Thom might be a potential ally if we were to convince him of the truth, but he's also in a jar. I legitimately have no idea how much power he has within the house.
Very hard to
Yeah,
say.
we'll fill Silt in on, who the heck we're
Yeah.
talking about. And
Yeah. I feel like this possibility, any action we do inside the house could be dangerous, given your description of how it moves and changes. I think we could find ourselves in a corner real quick. Do you have any particular evidence that Uh,
We do have the flour, which we should probably leave a few. I don't know, Rose, if we could just take a. Can we take a cutting? Like,
Let
it's still
me
in the jar.
let me look
There's
What we
at
can
it.
do.
Let me try to figure out what kind of plant it is because
there's
we don't want to use it all up either.
Right.
we also have the head of her co-conspirators that were sent there to kill anyone, which is, I mean, we don't need to drag the whole body with us.
yeah. And y'all threw the crest away.
Yes, we were sure she was spying on us.
Hmm.
We have this other one, though.
Tilt, you can give me a mind check, and you can be aided by your mysticism knowledge into this.
Who?
Silt, because you mentioned something about how she tracks you. But I will see considering the result. What I can tell you until the roll is made, because that you will know anyway, you threw something that the mercenaries had to aid them to watch you. You are almost certain that she didn't give away the entire thing to watch you. As in, it's almost like you threw a tag. She definitely has more tags back at the castle. That would be safe. Otherwise, she would be a very terrible planner to give somebody the only way to stalk people. But that's
No,
even without success on the mind check.
I unfortunately did not pass.
Okay. Yeah, there is something weird how she always knew where they were, and obviously shared that with the mercenaries.
I mean, it could be that she, well, not could, she does obviously have some magical abilities, and the strange third eye that she's got may play a role in her capabilities. Hmm.
If you look at that, maybe I missed it. If you look at the closed eye crest, I don't know if you've run across this before in your adventures. Do you think this might counteract her surveillance? That was my
Yeah.
hope, but without knowing, it's difficult to just turn on a. I literally have no idea how crests work.
Well, it's a matter of knowing how to unlock them.
Precisely. Yeah. I don't
That's
know.
why
Is that
crests are
something you can
usually,
figure out? Yeah.
well, I don't know. We can try. It's all experimentation. We don't know what it does. Like I said, hopefully it doesn't turn everybody blind. That would be a pretty cool crest if you wanted to get away from your enemies.
Yeah.
If you, whoever has some kind of street savvy can try to, let's implement a house rule of a luck check. So roll me a 1d100 or 2d10s, and if it's less than 50, we are going to Delta Green it. It's a pass. If it's more than 50, it's a
I do have tinkering. Can that help with?
I've got
Yeah,
street
so
savvy.
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
same.
Yeah, and I rolled a success on that.
Are we all rolling? Or just
if you have street
Thank
savvy,
goodness
yes.
Silt does. Yeah, street savvy, you said? Yeah.
Hmm.
You definitely. So you look at this, and those of you that succeeded, you get together. You might find somebody at the tavern that you actually know they are passing by because you couldn't. I mean, Silt knows people around here, but you all would definitely find somebody that is passing through the village. And you've managed to find a person that is like, I know somebody that knows somebody that actually kind of seen something similar to this. And they bring you as a fast forward towards this old, wrapped in clothing, in very long and colorful clothing, old woman. And she's like a brood priestess from around. And she takes a look. She has this wrinkled face that it's almost like you cannot see her eyes being covered by cataract and by loose skin. But she seems to be able to look perfectly at this thing. And she returns it to you. And it's like, crest of peaceful sleep, eases the mind, puts you to sleep in any condition should you use it correctly. Ancient way of distressing for the torturers in times of preparation for war. I've never seen one so well preserved. So you essentially get the entire effect and the name out of this individual.
So it puts people to sleep. That
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily help us in any way. Well, maybe it
No.
does.
It sounds like
The
pretty
old
stress
woman
relief,
says-
but
The old woman says it doesn't discriminate. In a couple of feet or something, mathematics were never really well discovered with this technology. Anything that lives, breathes, eats will sleep.
Well, I mean, it might be
If the
possible.
texts are right, of course. She ends before getting to get some sleep herself because she's like 134 years old.
Hey, well, we got Rose patched up. Oh, we're going to spend the night here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me
Yeah.
take a look at this
how did-
plant.
Yeah.
And to complete Rosie's inquiry, the old woman doesn't know anything about the plant at all. So the luck was only about the crest. What do you want to do with the plant? Do you want to uncover the glass jar, or do you want to inspect it and probably look?
I want to inspect it. I want to kind of figure out what kind of plant it is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Does it produce seed? Like, how does it produce seeds? Like, so we can grow more if needs be. Is it the kind of plant that you make into like? Would we distill its petals down into something to cure us of the spores? Would we just eat it? Knowing this type of plant for its medicinal properties, how would we best actually
You get the
get
impression
the cure?
that it has some fat, meaty petals. So probably they contain the active substance that you are after. So probably something like a pestle and a mojar would actually be more than enough to, or a mortar, sorry, as it's called. You can definitely extract some juices, but you are unsure if it's alone enough for such a thing, or it does require something else.
Okay, so chew on the leaves and hope for the best. Is that where we're at?
If you are, in fact, no, you wouldn't know. If it's similar to plants that are kind of resembling it, and you can kind of tell it's yet another kind of orchid, it would be very close to vanilla, essentially. So you can probably guess that it's not poisonous, so you cannot really make a mistake by eating parts of it. But you are basically going after legends. There is nothing written about this thing in any book or in any study. But it's pretty, and it's not hostile in the sense that nature always colors very, very brightly stuff that is dangerous. It's actually quite tame. It emits light, which is quite interesting. It has some fluorescent capabilities. But other than that, it's not screaming at you with its colors, essentially.
Okay. Well, let me sleep on this.
For sure. You all go, even without the crest's help, to some actually good sleep. You may heal another 2 stress if you still have it. And you wake up refreshed. You all gather back together, and you may even receive another meal at the inn. And you are all sitting at the table. You just finished eating, and you have the plant on the table, still jarred. People don't really give looks because you already kind of proved yourselves as actually helpful and useful strangers. They prefer not to ask too many questions. So you see them actually try to avert their gaze out of politeness, even though you hear some murmurs from some farmerlings like, what the hell is that? I've never seen something like that in my entire life. And I'm living, and you hear this from probably somebody that is like 50, which is very old in farmerling age. Like they start farming since they're 8 or 9. Yeah, I've never seen something like that. But of course, they don't approach you, and they don't try to interact with you or the flower in any way. They just keep their distance.
Right. Shall
Sorry,
we head
guys.
back
They
to...
might be scared of me. I forgot.
There are some side eyes in Sven's direction, and they are looking at their forehead. So yeah.
Yes, Rose, what are you thinking of now? Like, have we decanted, so to speak, this this plant?
I think
Do
that
we
we
want to?
need the petals should be enough if we grind them into a paste. The question is, I don't want to, well, the plants, there are many plants that can survive the removal of their petals. So if we plant this flower here and we harvest its petals, it should hopefully survive, and
Yeah.
regrow them.
And if we've got people in town that are passing through, if there are extra seeds, let's give a few out. Just with the understanding that they'll plant them, and that way if we bite it in the next, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours, House Stellar's doesn't get a win.
Yes, that's very wise, although we don't want to destroy this plant. Definitely need to preserve it as best we can. So I'm going to take the plant out of the stasis jar.
Okay. To no one's surprise, it grows, but it grows very slowly. And it's actually not even doubling, like probably 50%, 1.5 its size, and it just remains like that. You see that it cracks the pot, but because it's in a very slow and controlled manner, it doesn't really make that much of a mess, although you would probably need to change the pot or plant it. But it has a beautiful slow glow, and it actually has that effect that mint has, like it's chilly once you get a little bit close to it, similar to the taste, essentially. Do you want to plant it? Do you want to pick up the petals?
Yeah, I want to start. We should plant it for sure. And then I will harvest its petals.
Okay. Completely easily done. You plant it somewhere where you can find it, either at the periphery of the village or in a garden randomly in the village, or and you collect. Do you collect all the petals?
Yeah, because petals.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
it's the green. Rosa knows it's the green part of the plant
That grows
that it
the
needs to
up.
survive.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
petals, on the other hand, aren't essential to the plant's survival.
Mm-hmm.
So Rose is comfortable with taking all of the petals.
Yeah. Your assumption, and I like that with role play and no roll, is completely correct. It doesn't seem to shrivel. It doesn't seem to get damaged. You get all the petals, and the plant seems to already, but not that fast, even though it's a magical plant. But it's almost like it has petals that were ready, like teeth, to come out after the old ones were pickled, but it's not going to, they are not growing fast. It's like you see their stubs getting ready to get out of the plant structure in the future. But yeah, the petals are almost detachable. It's almost like you can slot them out of the plant.
Okay.
And they maintain their color, bioluminescence, smell, and I don't know if somebody tastes it. I don't know.
Well, we're going to taste it here soon. Because what I'm going to do is I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to gather all the petals into a bowl,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I'm basically going to mortar and pestle styles smash the petals down into this pulp,
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
I'll add some, I don't know, to make the medicine more palatable.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Honey.
Basically, I'm making it into a medicinal paste. Um, so turning it
Yeah.
into the pulpy plant matter and then into a fine
Mm-hmm.
paste.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. You have pleasantly smelling and just tasting, not really ingesting, a pleasantly tasting also paste. It's minty.
So I will take some of the paste. I'll give some of the paste to Amethystos, Olo, and Sven.
Okay.
This should rid us of those accursed spores.
Hope so.
I take out one of the remaining leaves I have and put it on the leaf and
Drug interaction.
Yeah. If you look at the bottom of the paste, it says, "Whatever you do, do not take
Yeah,
chewing
yeah.
leaf with."
Um, it tastes well, and you feel much more grounded. In the metaphysical sense, it's almost like you already existed, but you start to have this mindfulness, as psychologists say, and you start to acknowledge things that you didn't before, like textures, colors around you, not in a false hallucination-like. It's almost like you are much more aware of your surroundings. You pay more mind, and you also you all that you all, since probably everyone did it, you can increase your heart by 10 points. Other than these effects, you are not sure if you are ridden by anything else.
Dang, I don't know about y'all, but I feel good.
There are fables where I grew up of a creature named the Grinch that this reminds me of.
Get my hand, everyone. It's got 5
Oh,
fingers on it. Oh, sorry, Olo.
okay, all right, all right.
You know, I think I can actually feel my horns.
Now that we're in the
For some
state
reason,
of
I think I
karmic
have
balance.
I understand the universe.
And
So
it's
you
so
got to get ahead of
simple.
this.
Are we even real?
Oh no. Well, while we're
What if we're all
super
just like
real,
numbers on a paper, you know?
What if we're all just characters in a story?
No,
Olo's
no.
head explodes. It was too real.
We all point and laugh. Yeah. All right. Shall we head towards that castle and
Yeah,
get our
let's
revenge?
do it.
With this concentration enhanced, I wanted to say that you observed, since you walked around the village, the looming castle casts a shadow across, literally and figuratively one, across the village. But after you eaten the paste, you start to observe the fact that the castle, in fact, kind of saps away the life force of the village. You didn't really observe it the first time, but this facade, you have seen that the castle shifts. But the castle seems much older and decrepit and consumed. And it's almost like a husk of a leech that still tries to suck the blood, the life force out of the village. There are also some other things as you are getting closer to the castle. There are entire bramble mazes of thorns and rose-like structures that seem to be quite pointy. And in the distance, on 3 of the many towers of the castle, you see a glint, which, unless somebody is looking through the telescope to you, it's probably the scope of a rifle.
I will likewise then pull out my rifle and take
Okay.
cover and see if I can focus in on the person with the gun.
Mm-hmm. You focus on, they haven't seen you yet. You focus on the gray, lifeless, Terminator, exterminator humans face of a sniper crow. In fact, all the 3 snipers are sniper crows.
Hmm. Do all of the
Hey,
servants live in the castle from when we talked with like the chef and everything? Does he live there or does he live in the village?
I don't know if you asked him that.
Spin, it seems like you had, I think.
Yeah, did we have a chance to turn some of that raw chalk into chalk sticks
Oh
during the
yeah,
night?
yeah,
We would have done that
for
Okay.
sure.
anyway. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
wanted to make sure.
yeah. No problem. You have the equivalent of 3 chalk sticks pressed and ready to use.
And we see 3 robot assassins. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's a good descriptor for them.
Does there appear to be a direction that we can zigzag our way up to maybe uh, have protection, cover?
Yeah, you can stealthily and carefully try to find a path. Um, you can either give me, because it's stealthy and it's not fast, so that's not a speed. You can give me a mind for a tactical approach, or even a heart, because heart is about controlling your emotions and trying to um essentially be cold and level-headed in such stressful situations.
Do mind because it's higher for me, and
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
yeah, I got a regular pass on that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So the crows, they usually don't move, but you see that they probably got repurposed because they occasionally change the positions that they stay in. So they move, like they glide, is probably there on some wheels or something. And they glide on the walls surrounding the castle, changing the position. So you can find a way to move so that you can kind of trick them. But I'm going to say that you also observe some patches of grass that are weirdly enough they are spiky, and this grass doesn't seem to just be crushed under your boots when you would try to step on it.
So it's like spikes.
Yeah.
I mean, do they hurt as we walk through them, or do they just make noise?
Okay. You start walking through them.
No,
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just wondering.
uh,
Are they like
Yeah.
thorns off some really gnarly
Yeah.
tree or bush, or are they just like
Oh,
brittle
I
grass?
understand now. They look like blades of grass, but they have a gray-like color
Right.
and the texture like they're made out of metal.
They're fake. They're metal. And if you
Steel
try to step
grass.
on top of them,
Probably
you'd
should
either be
avoid
able to walk
those.
on top of them or you would get your feet pierced by
Yeah.
a million little spikes.
How do we proceed?
Be possible to have gotten some of that orange flammable fluid that was there because we think we were told that was flammable, right?
Oh
Because we had
yeah,
that
oh yeah,
smell. Yeah.
oh yeah. And you can even scoop up the one that got teleported with you. Sure, sure.
Yeah. We could use some of this to distract them, maybe. Rose, you know these best. How intelligent are they? Because yeah, if we can't safely step there. We need them not looking in the path.
They seem, from what I've learned about robots, is that they are mechanical to the highest degree. It's acting, it's acting in some kind of mechanical way. It's not going to be able to adapt. That's usually how people are managed to actually destroy these things. Um,
I imagine then that they're fairly accurate in.
yes, I would be surprised if it missed us, but we should be able to circumvent it.
I, I mean, we have this bow that should be silent, and he's bringing out the recursive bow that kind of unclaps. Maybe we could shoot some of that orange stuff, off to the side, give them something to look at that, yeah, I think it's Silt, you probably are onto something there, Sven, you too, with the spikes of some kind of defensive mechanism.
I
How close are we?
You are quite far because otherwise the crows would have spotted you. So if you want to imagine the surroundings, you are like in some shrubberies and some bushes from around the village. The castle is almost empty, is on an empty plot all around, and you see walkways leading up to its entrances. You are like, let me remember if a feet is zero. So if 2 feet is 1 meter, if my math is correct,
3 feet is 1 meter.
Oh, 3 feet is 1 meter. Okay, apologies, close. You are 300 feet. Like you can see the castle, but you are quite far. So
Yeah. So about 900 feet. Or you said 300 feet.
no, 300
Okay.
feet, like 100 meters.
So
Yeah.
it's
Okay,
like
so that's
so
a
it's like a
football
football field.
It's an American football field.
With the end
We're
zone.
getting more American. We will
Because
measure by
it's-
anything except for meters, damn it. It's a football field away.
The torturers were very big in NFL.
Yeah. So I'm
Um,
wondering if I move around in the woods to a different vantage point and I start shooting at those things, then they'll focus on me and you guys can go around.
I was wondering. I was mainly asking how far we were to see if we were in chalk cannon range. Because I
Oh
mean,
no,
this
no,
thing can't
the
this
shot
thing can't
cannon.
shoot us if it's a pile of scrap metal.
The other thing, one shot, is you could just turn invisible, right? I don't know. I mean, you could
Yeah, I
get there. The
could.
rest of us couldn't.
Well, I mean, I could, but what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Yeah,
Just go be in there
exactly.
naked?
Well, if
Yeah.
you take the vial of the orange stuff,
How about if I give you some chalk for the cannon and then I do what I was going to do, shoot at them and they get distracted. If they start heading this direction, then you blast them all with the cannon. Is it likely
Sounds
that the sniper crows will fly down to try to get me?
They are not mobile like that. So their name, and Rose would definitely know that, comes from a combination of obviously sniper, their function, and the scare crow. They aren't really much of a
I
terrify.
see.
Mm.
They are mostly static, although these have been repurposed to move, to change positions, but they are incapable of moving from those positions fast, let alone climb down the castle.
Well,
so.
then
Is
once
there
they start
any?
shooting in my direction and I'll be behind a tree, then you should all be able to run in there before they can readjust.
And that
And
was
then I can
actually
join
my
you. I can join you after.
invisibly, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
The other question I had was, maybe there's places where these things can't shoot, like they don't have a perfect
Blind
cover.
spots. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell though where that would
Yeah,
be.
and we can't go through this knife grass.
Although it would be up close towards the wall. Once you get up towards the gate, I
Yeah.
don't think that they can look down and
Fire
see
down.
you.
Well, to be fair, since Rose, you are from the region, you would know kind of a lot about them. So what you know is this. They have a 340 degrees field of vision. They pack a punch. They rarely miss. But they have semi-automatic heavy snipers, mechanical snipers. It takes them 30 seconds to reload. And it's a one-shot 30-second reload period.
Or I could get naked, get inside the building, and push them all off the parapets where they are.
Yeah, that works.
Unless they can sense heat, in which case they'll see me even invisibly. I don't know. I think we need to take a risk. I'll
Okay, so once they shoot, we can do whatever we want for 30 seconds.
yeah,
Can we get to where we want to go in 30 seconds?
that's a long time.
Doesn't
Football
take-
field? You can get down a
yeah.
football field in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe we can. Rose, are you up for that?
I guess I have to be, right?
So now all we have to do is get them to shoot without shooting us.
They'll
Yeah,
shoot at me.
Yeah.
And then once they've all shot, you guys run. And then I'll get them to shoot at me again, and then I'll run. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Makes
Right.
sense to me.
And maybe
Okay.
I'll take a few of them out.
So to begin the plan, describe exactly what you do. So you start to...
I move over where there's some pretty heavy trees.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then I'm going to peek out, pick my target, and fire. And
Mhm,
they should
mhm.
immediately start firing back at me.
Okay. They don't have any kind of ability to dodge. So although
dodge.
you,
I
you
could
I would,
miss, but yeah.
yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, give me a speed check, but I have to warn you, you will get shot. Because they can't really miss since you are really concentrating on hitting. Of course, not by all of them. You are getting shot only by one.
Okay. My idea was the second I fire, I'm going to duck back behind the tree.
Okay. And of course, the armor. What's your speed? Give me two speed checks. One is for hitting it, since it's a little bit
Okay.
far, and one is for ducking them.
Okay. My first roll is 19 out of 55.
So the rifle crackles, it shoots, and everyone, you can see this dot, because it's quite far, immediately spin around.
And my second roll is a 92, so I don't jump back fast enough.
Oh, it spins a much bigger, louder, almost cannon-like crackle sounds, and you will receive... to make this, I don't know, it's probably more painful, but Thom, do you want to roll the damage? This
How
thing?
how do I roll for damage?
4d10. It
Oh, that's the
deals.
same damage that I'm doing to them. So
Okay. Yeah.
let's see. 2, 8. A 0 is a 0, right?
And
That's
28, 31.
do you have armor?
I don't. But I've got the tree. So there's a
yeah,
tree
yeah,
in front
yeah,
of me.
yeah,
I'm
that's
going to
cool.
get winged.
Yeah, the tree will decrease 10 damage from this thing because it's like 10 AP. It's wood after all, and this wood is getting shredded, and the tree will even fall not on you, but it's like they chainsawed this thing.
Yeah.
It falls opposite to you as you roll me d10 for the man. Roll me 2 d10s for the 2 wounds.
I got 8.
8. Okay.
Did you need to roll twice.
I did.
Twice.
I rolled twice. I
Oh,
got a
8.
total of 8.
8 total. No, so they need to be the separate rolls.
Yeah, separate.
I rolled a 6 and a 2.
A 6 and a 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. One of your feet is blown right off. You cannot move very fast. And you're not sure because your nervous system, it's almost like it protects us from the pain. So in 10 minutes, you'll re-roll this wound when you start to realize that you are kind of bleeding out.
Okay. I'm hunkering also
Yeah.
behind the tree at this point.
Yeah, in this awkward silence, you also start to hear people from the village. They kind of understand what is happening, and they give you a look of sorrow. They aren't panicking, but they are afraid. They start to enter the buildings. They start to close the blinds and so on. They don't want anything to do with what is happening. And in this silence, you start to hear clinks and clanks as this thing is reloading. And yes, it's that loud that it can pierce 300 feet towards you. Obviously, you can do something, the rest of you.
But there's more than one of them, correct?
Yeah, but the one that is in the cone towards you is reloading, essentially.
Okay. So you guys got 30 seconds. Run!
Yeah,
I yell.
All right, booking it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sven's very worried about his new friend One Shot, though. I mean, this is
fine.
Okay.
It's
Sven
just
will
a
run.
flesh wound.
Oh, I'm okay.
Is this his foot?
Is this his foot?
Oh, no.
No, it's my
Your Achilles heel has been
my
shot clean
17 my 17 centimeter, not my foot.
Hey, just think of the money you're gonna save at the shoe store.
I can fix it. I'll make a solid gold foot.
Yeah, you dodge. I mean, you hear this thing reloading. You run. All of you that run, you will definitely make this because, as you said, stadium, you can do it. You don't even need to reach one end to another. You reach the center. But give me a speed check for something else.
Okay, and I'm getting to cover.
Oh yeah.
Because I can't run, but
yeah, no.
I'm gonna try to take something that I'm wearing and tourniquet my wound.
Yeah, you can definitely start to wrap it up. Those of you that succeeded, you make it as you start to notice how the grass blades turn solid steel and you dodge them quite in time. Those that failed, you get 1 stress and you get a 1d10 damage. As these things are almost like arrow tips solidifying from the ground.
Well,
I also gave myself 4 stress.
Yeah. Okay. You all that ran, you are by the building. The snipers cannot reliably hit you because it's much shorter and it's downwards. When you get to the base of the castle, you hear ka-ching, clink, clang, clink, and it's done essentially. And it doesn't see Amatistos anywhere. And you hear it even disturbingly, but this is more for flavor. I won't put any more stress, but it's muttering stuff in this chit-chattering voice, and it's like human, exterminate, find, target, missing, acquired. Where is it? Finding, looking. And it's constantly having this chit-chatter to itself as it's rotating and looking. You are at the base of the castle. You can get around the castle to enter to the front door, but that tactically is a little bit weird. You can get through one of the back entrances since you know there is one, or you can try to climb the castle walls, should you want. Or you can come up with a completely original idea that I don't think of right now.
Well, we haven't had the best plans so far.
So are we outside the door? That's
We're next to the wall of the castle, and there is a back entrance that we know about.
And the front.
Or we can climb up.
I think going for the back entrance makes the most sense to me. And unless we can use a chalk cannon and blast right through this wall.
Yeah, the shrapnel might be a problem. Just
we'll all lay on the ground
Yeah.
and cover our heads with this.
So let's go with an angle. Actually, would it go through a wall like that?
It's a
It
cannon.
destroyed
the door.
a thopter pretty damn well.
Door is definitely good. Yeah, that's a good point.
The walls might be 6 feet thick, so
Yeah, true.
What do you mean with 6 feet? No, it's it's 0.02 football fields thick.
It's not a castle at all. It's more of a manor house.
Yeah.
This bad boy can take 6 cannons.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with Rose. Let's just get to the back door, and Sven, that chalk cannon might be our tool of unlocking.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. You enter through the back door, and I'm going a little bit back to Amatistos as you enter the back door. Careful, looking around. I'm not assuming you're not paying attention to your surroundings. Amatistos, roll me another D10 for the wound that you are taking care of.
sorry about that. I was muted. I rolled a 1.
A 1. Yeah, this fortunately. So you tie up your stump of a leg. It hurts. You drop the your weapon that you got by you stumble across it with your hands. Nothing serious is going to happen, but the weapon falls. It glints. And you hear another blast. Nothing happens to you or the gun, but it was so close. You get sprayed with dirt, no damage. And you hear again the reloading motion as you are rapidly drawing your gun next to you behind the rock again.
Yeah.
What do you want to do exactly?
Well, I don't know what I can do. I don't think I can get it to the door.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to stay hidden and keep my eyes on the sniper crow in the hopes that I suddenly see it turn off. You know, maybe they do something. Maybe they manage to find the switch or get the thing to stand down. In any case, I might even crawl a little bit back towards the village and see if somebody's gonna help me. But
Um, do you think you are able, in your circumstances, as this thing has just misfired out of an impulse because it saw movement, do you think you would take another shot at it? What I'm essentially asking is, you will not be able to get hit by this thing while it reloads because it misfired.
well, I mean, I can try that. I already hit it once
Okay, yeah,
when I shot. Yeah, I'll try to hit it again.
okay.
What do I
Uh,
roll? Speed?
yeah, yeah.
I got a 36 out of 55.
Perfect. Roll me the magnificent 4d10s.
Ah, 17 points.
17 points. Okay. Let me see.
Yeah, I can't believe I rolled a 1 and a 2. And then a
The,
10, and then a
they really be caring about the sniper call. Um, that's definitely a wound, but I want to see if it even goes down. Oh, um, it does. Because you hit it again for similar damage, you see its head fly off inside the castle walls. And of course, it makes this sound as it basically slumps over and drops the gun out of its metallic hands.
okay.
So, great shot. One shot. One of the sniper crows is down.
Then in
Uh,
the next minute or so, I'm going to grab a branch off of the tree that fell down that I can use kind of like a cane,
yeah,
and
a walking
I'll
stick. Yeah,
and I'll
yeah.
quickly make my way to the same place I saw them run
Yeah, you can.
with my gun in hand. Yeah,
You have all the time, even hurt, because you know that these things will change. They didn't change positions when they saw their companion being destroyed. They have a
right,
strict programming when to change it.
right.
Okay, to the rest of you, until one shot arrives, but you don't know that, you are inside the castle in the back door. You are in a familiar room that you identify as the kitchen.
Are there any leftovers on the counter?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, sure, sure.
All
There are
right.
some. There is some Pec Squab Vignon.
Nice.
Unfortunately, uh, we're all.
That's okay. Anything. I'm hungry. We've been working hard.
I I I turn to the group and I say, "This is a kitchen. Should we start a fire in the kitchen?"
I think starting the fire here gives us a problem about how do we get out afterwards. They have a bunch of, I don't know if you know this, Silt, but they have all these really creepy oil paintings.
Mm,
But I think if we gather them together and started the fire there,
okay.
um,
Ah, I like that. Draw them out that way. Yes. Keep in
That's good.
mind, as we're going through this, our objective is Thorn. While I'm not against ixnaying the castle, if we can take her out, I feel like Tada, like you get what I'm saying. We start a
Hmm.
fire, Tada might be pissed.
Right.
I'm not against it necessarily. It probably needs to happen, but just be aware of the ramification. But
Yeah,
yes,
I agree. Let's take care of Thorn, and if the Dalek gets mad about it, then we'll escalate.
Um, you hear knocking from the door that you just came in from the outside.
Sven, hold your fire. Nah, go ahead. No, I'm kidding. Let's open the door because it could be Amethystos. We've heard a
I will
couple
aim that way.
gunshots. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Amatistos, you get the door opened for you. and everybody's barrels are just pointed towards you.
That's okay. I carved this out of a tree limb on the way over here. And my foot's in a bad shape, but I'll make it.
Jesus.
What's up?
Well,
Can
you
I
wanted to
roll
have some
medicine to make sure he doesn't
experiences,
bleed
one
out?
shot.
Oh, this is nothing, just a scratch. I'm a little lightheaded though. Lost some blood.
Yeah, Warden, can I roll medicine to make sure that he doesn't
Oh, yeah,
bleed out on
sure.
us?
Here, eat a little of this.
Yeah, take this leaf.
It'll help you out. No,
It'll
I
make my
meant
foot grow
the
back.
food.
Yeah, chew on this
Alright.
leaf.
Yeah.
Well, since I failed my oh no, I have advantage because I have medicine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, woo, with advantage I passed. So
Perfect.
yeah, chew on this leaf for the pain. And I'll
Love
make
my
sure
pain.
You also
that
have
your
to chew on the glass container.
tourniquet is tight enough to actually stop the blood flow.
Yeah. But we apparently have to loosen it every 20 minutes or gangrene will set in.
Okay. You probably help Amatistos. You see that he, not out of pain, not out of anything that just happened, is reticent to enter the door. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
you extend a hand, you help them, and they enter, but they are cautious, extra cautious.
Yeah, you have to pull me through.
Grab by the front. Get it.
I'm just assuming that one shot is having a hard time walking, so give him a good boost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the kitchen leads to multiple doors. Let's say that there are 3 doors that lead in whatever directions, probably in the castle.
There's something, Rose, you had discovered last time about finding our way through this, or somebody did.
The compass.
Yes. Do you think it would take us right to Rose?
Right to me?
Or
you mean Tada
to
or
Thorn?
Thorn?
Hey,
The thorn.
Every rose has a
thorn.
Every night
Wait
has
a
its
second.
dawn, etc., etc.
Yes. You get what I'm saying, I suppose. Damn, I wish we had a way to get to Tada first. He might be able to counteract.
Yes, I think
defenses.
Tada would be much be very disheartened by the news that his sister has been sabotaging his festival.
Yeah.
Games.
Maybe we can just talk it out.
I don't expect them to talk it out. I expect them to go at each other's throats. But if we can
Yeah, well,
to
that's
Tada,
fine.
yeah, I agree with you. Let's talk it out with Tada, because we're not going to get through the Thorn at all.
Okay.
Given that, they tried to have us murdered twice, once with spores and once with
So how do we get to Tada before Thorn catches us?
I don't know, maybe she leaves his pot somewhere.
Just looking to see if I
we have to find it.
The compass? I mean, it's really our only chance, right?
Well, the thing is, we got to have a sample to make the compass work.
Right?
Right.
If Tada is powered by chalk, is magical, then we can find the greatest source of magic in the house.
Unfortunately, I've got a pocket full of chalk. So does Sven.
Yeah.
Let's just look around and see if we can. But we'll have to shoot at her if we. I think I can still shoot.
Wobble.
Oh, out of nowhere, in particular, in one of the walls, a big slit in the shape of an eye opens up, and you see the familiar, distasteful, hateful look of Thorn. And she's like, well, I didn't expect you to return so soon, or at all.
Yeah, that's more of that latter part. What the hell
Can I
is
s-
all this about? Why send us out there just to kill us? Hmm?
Well, it's for my brother. He really thinks that all of this nonsense needs to keep up. But yeah, if you manage to, there are two ways this is going to end. You either manage to find him first, or you leave.
I'm going to swing this really hard right into that eyeball.
Ow! She doesn't say that, but the eye obviously starts bleeding this black ichorus that is very, very reminiscent of the blackness of the hands that you saw on the stage a couple of
Does it
days with.
stop working, or I
Um.
guess I'm trying to get it to stop working.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She's like the eye slowly starts to close back the wall, and it's like it was never there, and you still hear her voice, and she's like, I can still see where you are.
All right, I'm gonna touch the compass to the chalk. Like I know what Amethyst is saying about us carrying chalk, but Tada should be a much more bright magical object that our little
uh,
measly sticks
yeah,
of
I like
chalk.
that idea. Yeah, it indicates one of the doors,
Okay, well,
so you don't have to
I
get.
will go through the door that it indicates.
Okay. um Anyone follows, or do you split the
Yeah,
party, or do
Olo
you
will
stick
go with it.
together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I help one shot through any doors in the way because he's limping
Yeah.
so badly.
Still,
um
what kind of weaponry does Silt have? I don't know that we've
I
seen
have a flamethrower.
that. Okay.
you see without
Very nice.
because there Silt is not a traitor, but you see that without the rocket logo of the Rocketeers, this is reminiscent of what Flame
Mm.
sported. Very, very reminiscent. But it's a completely different design. It doesn't have the rocket logo. It's pretty much what you known as Flame Bellow.
The request to set the kitchen on fire makes a lot more sense now, yes.
Well, I was thinking this whole time he was referring to the oil we got from the robot, not not a full blown flamethrower.
No, I'm carrying a flamethrower. I've got the whole like hood with
So basically, you're saying it's very obvious this whole time how you're dressed, what you're carrying, this massive flamethrower. Your dress as though you have a flamethrower,
yeah.
and we are now
Hell
in the
yeah.
heat of the moment, like, oh my God, he has a
I have
flamethrower.
a flamethrower.
We're-
Uh, but you guys are in charge. You've hired me, and I'm not going to set anything on fire till you give me the go.
Well, I say follow your heart. Uh, you know, this place is, I mean, it's bad through and through. So if we don't make it, we don't make it. But wouldn't be the worst thing if it burnt down.
Well, I think I'll try to get you to this Tada character, and then we'll see how it goes.
In that case, yes, let's follow Rose. Save her out.
You enter the room, all of you, towards a corridor that splits, and you look through the compass to guide yourself. Um, there is a weird thing where if you go through a room or a door, the compass suddenly shifts, and you can give me a mind check aided by navigation or by any kind of puzzle solving ability, even tinkering or
You want us all to roll or just Rose?
Oh, yeah, sure, sure.
I'm sorry, what is this roll?
A mind roll
We're
to
trying to navigate this place that keeps changing.
I got a
86, not good.
5 and my mind is 33.
Hey, it sounds like somebody passed 'cause I failed.
okay.
Sven, the
Um,
courier knows the way.
I actually rolled with advantage and both of my D10s came up zeros. So that's a big waste. 0, 5.
um, yeah, you understand that this thing shifts in a certain way, and you do something that is unexpected, but you have always traveled forward. But you go into a room, you watch the compass, you get back through the same door and back again, and you see that the compass, that the castle constantly changes the room in a certain way. Um,
Trust me on
and
this, guys.
you
I've
create a
got,
path towards the door that splits into other two doors. And these two doors are numbered. Um, you are almost certain that you passed through, let's say, I don't know, door 97 the last time you walked a lot. There is a door that is named 98 and the door that is called 100. Which
It's got
door?
to be one of these two numbers, right? Or one of these two doors. 98 and 100?
100, yeah.
Any thoughts, anyone? Feels kind of random to me.
We
Have
could
any knowledge of it? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Sil.
we could just each of us pick a door,
Pick them both down.
open them up. Ta-da!
Perfect. Who opens the 98 and who opens the 100?
I'll open the 100.
Okay.
Not you. You got 2 wounds, and we need you.
I'll
The
do
time
I don't
slows
want.
down.
I
I
see
don't want.
Rose going
I
for
don't
the
want.
door, and I just shove Rose out of the way and open that door.
Ola will
Okay.
take 98 then. Let's go, Sven. Who's lucky?
Okay, because I am going to pull a GM, you both open the 100, both Rose and Sven. Yeah, you are going to roll me 2d10.
I got a 5 and a 9.
I got a
Okay.
7 and a 4.
Any kind of armor on to use?
No.
I have 3 armor left. At least that's
Okay.
what you said.
You definitely hold me up to that. Decrease 3 from that number and you take that much damage.
So
The
I'm
door, the
dead.
door, the door opens to this weird thing. You can't really read its features, and two black hands just get out and grab you both and just pull you inside to crunch on your bones. The other ones, you are suddenly finding yourself in a room filled with urns that looks very, very close to funeral urns. And I'm coming back to the others as well. What do you want to do in the urn room?
Your audio just went out.
Audio?
Yeah, that
I
makes more
can,
sense if I
I
unmute
can
myself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
uh, Amethyst, we got to just find the urn. Like, you remember what it looked like We just
Yeah, pretty much.
whichever one's probably been poked the most recently too, if there's any dust or anything. But yeah,
Yeah, there shouldn't be any dust on the one that we want.
man, you ever read that Return to Oz old fable? It's just like
Yeah.
that.
We'll put our hands on it and go, Oz!
Yeah.
The only green thing, green ones, yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Uh, I like this plan too much, so sure. You find an urn that is completely, constantly dusted off and worn, and
and it
you
looks like the
put,
one we saw.
yeah, it looks like the one you saw, and um, yeah, no more checks. It's going to be a little bit of an encounter. As this is happening, Sven, roll me 1d10 for your wound. And Rose, roll me a 1d10 to see something else.
Okay. I'm at 3 wounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Okay.
know.
All right.
I rolled a 10
Oh God.
or a 0, depending on how you think of it.
Okay. Um,
You're
you
gonna.
you are being crunched on by this thing, and to put salt on the injury, it even opens the door back up. It throws you before everyone else. You hear and you see after hearing it, Sven being thrown out from the mimic door room, and they are not looking good. Like this thing with the throw, you hear some cracking, and Sven just suddenly stops moving, like twitching, stops twitching and everything. Roll me a 1d10 again, please. And what did you get, Rose?
I got a 5.
A 5, okay.
And that's also what I got on my next roll.
Oh, awesome. Okay. To fast forward, because we need to accelerate a little bit, it's going to last 20 minutes more, if that is okay. Okay, good, meta stuff. Right, you both, Rose, this is familiar to you. Sven, you feel your soul temporarily leave your body, and you meet this entity with round shades, smiling politely. And this time, Rose, you see that their smile hides sadness. They look at each one of you and they are like, death is a horrible thing. You mortals don't even realize how the sleep affects the fiber of your souls. Well, pick, and it says drawing some cards. Pick a card and let fate decide upon thee. So I may not have any ties in this judgment, even though if it would be after me, you would return because there is still unfinished business that you seem to have on the mortal plane. And it's a terrible fate to die permanently, that is, with such unfinished business. Translation, give me a 1d10 for the something.
Both of us, or?
Yeah, you both had results that guarantee that you...
I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 3.
Okay.
Does Sven get another horn?
Placement.
That's a very good question. I would say yeah, but I don't want to skip. Give me a couple of seconds to do, just to see what it happens if there is another one. Mm, yeah, let's homebrew it because you both pass somehow. You each draw a card, and these things look like something like tarot, but they are not tarot. They don't resemble anything like tarot cards, not even close to their real counterparts. It's not just a different design, it's something completely different. Sven, you draw a card that has this figure that has their mind essence almost being dragged out of their skull, and the shape of the skull follow that drag. The figure smiles, continuing to give this sad vibe, but you suddenly feel that you're paralyzed, and it slowly reaches towards your forehead and it pinches you. But as it pinches you, it extracts another horn in the middle of your head, out of your forehead. And after that, it's like, go forth, adventurer. You still have missing business in the Hereafter plane. And it slowly pushes you and you fall back into your body. Rose, you extract a card that has a fetus representation on it. You feel much more younger. You lose 10 points from your mind stat, and you get that 10 points to your speed stat. You feel a couple of years younger under a weird influence. Of course, the figure puts a palm on your forehead, on your left and your right shoulder, and the effect applies, and then it pushes you, and you fall gracefully back into your body. We come back in the land of the living. You are in the urn room, and you start to see that Rose's body has been thrown by the mimic outside as well. And the two go through some gruesome transformation, each one of you witnessing it gain a stress, and they are alive. They start to breathe again.
Oh, I feel even worse. Are our wounds gone?
Yeah, very correct. You have all your wounds healed, all your HP back.
I think we did choose the wrong door then. Rose, you look like you look a lot better. You are Rose, right?
Yes, I'm Rose.
Are we going to open up this urn?
Yes.
Yes,
Please.
we need to find Tada.
All right. I'll set it on the table and knock on it. Ta-da! And I'll open up the lid.
The lid seems to oppose resistance, not being kept by someone, probably by a mechanism. You recall that Thorn pressed some things on the urn before opening.
I'll look around and see if there's any ornamentation that can shift or...
I say you saw it once. Give me a mind roll with advantage.
Yeah, 17 on the second roll. My mind is 39.
Perfect. You press a combination on the urn. The urn lights up. The lid flies into the sky, and a sleepy yet somewhat immediately happy Tada appears before. And it's like, my favorite adventures. I have been waiting for you for such a long time.
It hasn't been that long.
Oh, you stay into that goddamn Forsaken Urn, my dear lord.
Thorn has betrayed us. She's tried on multiple occasions to kill us all. And I think that we've been successful. We've retrieved the herb, the plant.
Just as you say this, the another door to this room opens, and of course it's Thorn. And she's like, well, and what proof do you have about this, adventurers?
Well, I've lost a foot. We've now got a new character because our old character died.
That's a character.
Sven's got a third horn, and we've got the head of your conspirator who was sent by you to kill us, Thorn. I'll throw the Jock's head at her feet.
It would have been really nice if we had the open-eyed crest to show as evidence.
She's like, she kicks, but not in your direction. She kicks the head.
We demand restitution for this thing that's done this to us. She's trying to keep you from the cure.
She's like, well. Adventurers, many people are getting after the artifact, but if you say that you got the artifact, who am I to be such a bad sister to my poor brother? To keep him away from such a treasure, let's say. Okay, fine, you win this time. Present the gift that you have found in the catacombs. And Tada is like, the gift.
We have an extract of the gift.
Yeah, you want some of this paste? Here, chew on this leaf. Burn creature.
Because they have this in their sight, Thorn comes but doesn't come hostile towards you. She steps a little bit and she extends her hand towards you, and it's waiting for you to give the paste to her.
I'm not giving you this paste.
Fine.
This is for Tada, not you.
And she says, fine, and she snaps her fingers, and you see an unarmed, because I don't want to give more heart attacks, an unarmed sniper crow entering the room, clanking, and the sniper crow gets their hand towards you to take it. And Thorn is like, listen, magician, he cannot grab anything reliable.
Yeah, but I trust... This is
I want to
saying
hear
a
from
lot.
him. Yeah.
I trust the robot more than I trust you. But Tada, are you fine with us using the robot as an intermediary?
And Tada is like, yes, of course. My sister would never betray.
She already has, multiple times. Just saying.
All of the people dead on this adventure have been because of her.
There is not a psychology check, but in fact, there is, outright saying it. You get the sentiment that Thorn is a little bit frustrated, but you don't see that glint of I mean, you see evil incarnate, and you see pretty much a daughter of something, of a gun, in front of you, but she wouldn't really do a final defiance for a certain reason that you're unsure of, to put it like that.
Okay, I'm going to give some of the paste, not all of the paste,
Mm-hmm.
some of the paste on a leaf, because that's how we do things around here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give it to the robot to give to Tada.
Okay, yeah. The sniper crow delicately tries to grab it, but further mushes it more. And it turns to Tada. It pretty much baby feeds him, and it's a little bit disturbing because a mouth of a human should not extend that much, just to put it lightly, like imagery. But he's like made out of jello, essentially. And the robot de-extends the hand empty from his mouth, and he's like, oh, oh, sis, do you got any more of that chalk reserves? And she's like, yeah, sure. Snaps her fingers. You see the sniper crow leave the room, enter the room with some chalk, and the sniper crow requests another leaf with some paste.
All right. Another leaf, a little more paste.
You put it, the robot mushes it together, gives to Tada, and Tada slowly starts to glow. And slowly but definitely, you kind of can tell that some of his parts you can't see through him anymore that easy.
He's becoming solid.
He's becoming quite solid. And he, after a couple of seconds, fully materializes, and he's like, ah, well, this is much better than what you have planned originally, sis. And she's like, ah, brother, hooray, you are back. And Tada is like, and guess what? Right now I can finally take over the throne. And she's like, yeah. And she's looking at you with pure hatred towards all of you.
We're going to leave and let the two of you sort this out, okay?
She leaves.
No, we were promised not just our lives, but that we would get a reward.
Wealth and power and fame and glory.
And Tada gets back to you with a smile and it's like, of course. Well, the very Star Seedling that you wonderfully recovered, it's a very precious life force. You see, it crosses the bridges between the sleep and the hereafter. You are more than invited to keep the plant and to try to explore its unlimited possibilities. Of course, I got some riches if you want something more tangible.
Well, we already have the plant. We could use with some riches.
You can definitely keep it. I mean, there is, and he laughs when he says there are like 100 of our family that are still kind of wanting to return. But you know what? All in due time. All in due time.
I also want access to your kitchen whenever I pass through. Place to eat, place to sleep.
Well, that could probably get arranged, fellow courier, because, well, right now I am back in charge. And Thorn is like, yeah, you are. I need some transports very fast. I need more furniture. And of course, this is probably the first time when Thorn almost cracks up into a laugh, which she kind of sounds like a witch when she does, because she's even mutters, we got all the furniture in the world. Oh my God. Oh my days. So for all my stars, no more furniture, more furniture. And we need a courier to deliver and to get some delivery. So yeah, you can definitely stay at the house and help us.
Great.
I might make a suggestion to Da. Now that you're, so
Yes, my beloved Salesforce.
well,
One of you two.
yes.
I see now you got another Salesforce with you.
Yes, take it from someone that's perhaps not lived as long as you, but Thorn here makes such a fine impression on everyone she meets. It would be a shame if she were to be squandered away serving you in this castle. Have you considered maybe sending her on a diplomatic mission? She's got a charming personality that just really brings people together.
Wow. Did you hear that, sis? Nobody ever described you like that. And she's like, I will have a word about this later. And she turns to Polo and is like, and you were one of my least known favorites. Now you just went way up.
That's fine. Feel free to meet me outside of your castle. We can talk about it.
What are the rest of you doing? By the way, as a setup and as this goes on, you see the castle moving, and it rearranges in such a way that finally kind of makes sense for a castle. So you see the doors opening, and they reveal that from the urn room, you can enter the main hall, and from the main hall, you see the front entrance and everything. You see Tada inviting you to go around, and the castle seems to kind of get a little bit more lively, just a little bit, with Tada's return. And just as you leave, and of course I will invite each one of you, unless you want to do something else, but I will invite each one of you for an epilogue. You go and you watch. The paintings are still sad. They give you some weird looks, and you never took the chance to look closer to their names. You recognize names that have the stellar part in them, and some of them even have the way that they died, and some of them died in noble combat, some of them died of old age, some of them died in mysterious circumstances, and you are not sure if their looks go solely to you or to the figure that begrudgingly follows you and Tada through the castle towards Thorn. And as an epilogue, you are in the possession of the seedling. You find out that it grows quite slow, but its properties are unmatched. What you do with it, like you attract fortune or you attract the reputation of a philanthropist, you actually give it away for people to prepare remedies, is up to you. There is something, though, which Tada didn't lie. It's more of an omission. You cannot multiply this plant. Whatever you do, if you try to plant its petals or its seeds or whatever, it will never grow another one,
Not
essentially.
even its seeds?
No, for whatever reason.
Hard to pollinate it.
But it grows and will never die. Like the one that you got planted, you can get it out of the dirt and you have it in a pot and it survives the procedure. It grows constantly, new petals.
Well, I would like to take this back home. I mean, the amount of good this could do to my village and the surrounding villages, like this plant is a miracle.
I think that Sven and I, if he's game, we're going to go uh, back to the giant robot, what's left of him, and we're going to extract a lot of those plants and set
Mhm.
up our own company to see if we can get some of these things to be, plant some aspen trees and
And build furniture out of them.
build furniture. We'll, you know,
You
so
find
I'll slum it and he'll.
you find definitely potential employees, people that would love to work for a lordling, that actually seems to be quite mellowed down to the people in the hereafter. You find the giant in a crater. Several explosions happened. It's chewed to bits, and you
Yeah,
spot the signs of cicadas that essentially mold it to death.
sure.
There is still endless chalk still available that they just couldn't get their
Right.
tiny little mouths to. Uh, you and your company enforce wearing protective suits because the radioactivity kind of went off the
Right.
charts.
And
And
I will use part of our proceeds and wealth to both give myself a articulated metallic gold foot and Olo an articulated golden hand and Sven a pretty little chain to hang around his middle horn. Sven can have anything he wants. Uh, I don't know. Maybe Rose went back to her homeland, but we would have gladly employed her as a botanist.
you
Uh,
can
And
definitely contact all of you.
yeah, yeah, we keep in contact. And then
and
Silt
of course, if
is
Silt wants help, what's going on for you, Silt?
give him a permanent
Yeah,
position as guard. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing, I hear about this all this plants and stuff, and if they let me in on the gig, I'm game to help out in any way, shape, or form. You
And
know,
we'll set up a memorial to Sun.
Son would like that, actually.
And then once we're rich and powerful, we will burn the Estellars, the house to the ground and slaughter them all in a war because they're murdering sons of bitches.
And found a new house, perhaps?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, that'd be interesting. Uh
the
maybe.
war between the fundamentals and the stellar began. What
Yeah.
does Olo do after all these events?
Just so I know, we know Sun just kind of left, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I will say that if you want to look for them, you will
I think
find them.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and of
Olo
course,
will,
Julian has
yeah.
control over his ex character as well. So probably sometime like years passed, and they are more ready to talk about what happened.
Yeah, I'm bringing Sun a bit of the paste that Rose made because I that is the dangling thread of the party is uh he was hired to protect people, and Sun, even though they left, they still need protecting. And then I don't know, hole up somewhere and sharpen his blade for when Thorn comes calling.
Awesome.
Maybe we will find some way to propagate that plant. We just got to figure out how.
Yeah, probably there is a peculiar different methods. Perhaps
Radiation often works really good on orchids to help create new orchids. Just saying.
yeah, perhaps returning to the stellar castle, not just to burn it, but to try, not just to try to burn it, but to also try to multiply the plant.
I kept kind of hoping that as we went around the castle, we would notice, that it was like a giant clock, a mechanism that was turning. I was going to jam my stick into the gears so that it would stop changing. Could finally find our way around really easy.
With such a big mechanism, you would need a pretty big stick.
I don't know. Sometimes you just need a little piece of metal in there that gets the whole thing jammed.
Probably. Right. So this is the end of Star Seedling. The end of the story. Your characters went through quite an adventure, and it ends almost poetically like real life. You return or you pursue new adventures, and who knows what the hereafter brings further. You got quite a taste of it. Thank you very much for playing.
Thank you very much for running it for us and introducing
you.
us to the system. It's a really cool fantasy world. Our players included Morgan Llewellyn, Nathan Decker, Steve Anderson, Julian Arba, and myself, with Victor Graur as our game warden. We have Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our show free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you would like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the strange and fantastic world of Cloud Empress. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.